Hi, and welcome to my little podcast. I thought because of everything going on at the moment that people would like to have something to watch, especially my mum. Hi, Mum. And obviously Claire and John and I can't get together to do a podcast, so I just thought I'd have a little go on my own. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Beks. I live in Bristol and I'm a teacher. I live with my partner Paul, who is upstairs walking around, so sorry if you can hear any noises. And my cat Mufasa, who is fast asleep in the chair over there. He's really not making the most of this weather. And he's been building up to self-isolation all of his life. So yeah, I just thought I'd come and share with you what I've been up to. I've actually had loads of knitting time recently because I've just got over a 2-week bout of laryngitis. Yes, another one. So I've been knitting for England this month, so I've got loads and loads of things to share with you, and I thought it might just help you pass the time a little bit. So I will crack on. So I have been working on a Cozy Memories blanket since I started knitting in 2016 really. And it was getting to a fairly decent size, and I was beginning to sort of think that I didn't really love it that much because it's pretty loud and leery. It was pretty much anything I could lay my hands on. So yeah, I wasn't loving it. So I thought, right, it's probably time to stop and call it finished and start something a little bit more cohesive, shall we say. But it's lovely. I do love it because it's got great memories. For example, let me find it. It's got the yarn that I knit my first pair of hand knit socks in, which was this one. And it's probably got some of Claire and John's early yarns that they dyed. This yarn I dyed myself at Claire's house. This one was my first ever indie dyed yarn. That was by Shadow at Felt Fusion. So I had to remember them. And yeah, so there's lots of happy memories, and I can remember, you know, I can link lots of the yarns to projects I've made, but I just decided it was time to call it a day. So it's 13 squares by 13 squares, so it's fairly big. I'd say about maybe 4 foot by 4 foot. So I think it would make like a really nice picnic blanket. So I'd probably keep it in my car. It'd be perfect for that. So yeah, so that is my Cozy Memories blanket, and I've started another one which I'll show you in a bit. Next up is my Whitmore sweater. So you would have seen me knitting on this if you watched my Paris vlog. So here it is in all its glory. I absolutely love it. I've worn it loads already. It is soft and fluffy and fits really nicely, and just love it. So the yarn is Tart by Mr. B's Yarn, and it's held double with just a Drops Kid Silk mohair. So you can see the halo on it. It's really pretty. I think I used the dark plum colourway, I want to say. So I did the bishop sleeve. The only problem is I'm always slightly lazy and I don't go down a needle size on my cuffs. Generally, I'm a tight enough knitter that I don't feel I need to, but this really stretched, so it doesn't look very bishop anymore. It just looks saggy. So I'm going to try and do something about that. I might crochet round the cuff just to make it a bit tighter, or I might end up having to pick up and re-knit the whole thing, but it's not the end of the world. I'd rather have a sweater that I was really happy with. But yeah, all in all, I just love it, and you'll see how much I love it in a minute because I'm knitting another one. So that pattern is Whitmore by Amy Loudon, who is Tailoress Studios, and I couldn't recommend it enough. It's such a detailed pattern. It was really intuitive and easy to follow, and I think the thing that makes it the best is right in the early setup round she gets you to place markers for every pattern repeat, and then you notice straight away if you're out and exactly where it is. So I literally didn't make any mistakes. It was just so easy and so well written. So thank you, Amy, for that. My next sweater that I finished, I knit this in like a week. I think it was really quick, but it is cropped. This is the, I don't know how to say it, the Trescau sweater, Escao, by Along Avec Anna, who I've only just discovered. It's a free pattern, and it's just a gorgeous like raglan sweater with this lace detail down the raglan, like an eyelet detail. I did actually adapt it. There was short rows at the top and bottom just to bring it up a bit, but I wasn't too fussed about that, so I left that and I was really happy with it. But again, I did end up crocheting around the neckline because it was very, very wide. So I just crocheted around the top to bring it in, and that worked really well. But it was just a lovely knit. I love the garter detail on the cuffs and the hem. It's just really, really easy to knit, really wearable, really simple. The yarn I used again was Mr. B's yarn in Cadet. Claire gave me the yarn out of her bargain bucket, so I'm not sure if that's because she's not going to dye it again, or just whether she's going to do a fresh batch with sort of a new dye lot. So yeah, Cadet, so that's the blue. And then I held this with just an off-white drops mohair because I already had it. And I just quite like the sort of slightly mild and just slightly, what's the word, like softer effect it gives, because the blue is actually quite a bit darker really. But I just thought that'd be quite nice. It's quite light actually, even though it's held in mohair, the gauge is quite loose. So it's quite light, it'd be quite nice for spring. Yeah, and it's quite cropped. I've never really knit a crop sweater before, and I didn't really know if it was my style, but I gave it a go and I quite like it. Yeah, I think I'd be knitting some more. I would definitely recommend this pattern. So yeah, like I say, it's free on Ravelry, so it's really worth looking at. And I think she's released a cardigan in the same pattern, so that's really nice. When I knit my Whitmore sweater, I started with 3 skeins of yarn, and I literally broke into the 3rd skein for about this much of the second sleeve. So I had loads left over and maybe 2 balls of the mohair. So I decided to make a hat with the leftovers. So this is the JoJo's hat by Jodie Brown of the Grocery Girls. I knit it in like a day when I was off sick. It knits up really quickly. It's a really lovely, really intuitive pattern. I always do a nice long brim so that I can fold it over. I just like the look of it, and I feel like it keeps your ears warmer. And this pom-pom, I think I bought at Unravel in 2019. I think from the Knitting Shed, I want to say. But it's just really pretty grey one. I just thought I'd use what I had. So I'm really chuffed with that. I do feel like it needs blocking. I've got quite a big head. So I do feel like it needs blocking, but obviously I can't really get out at the moment to buy balloons to block them on. So I'll do it sometime. I won't be wearing it for a while anyway, so no problem. So that's that. I also have knit this hat, which is actually a sample knit for Claire and John, hopefully for shows, but obviously the next 3 have been cancelled, which is just such a shame. But you know, in time it will all be back to normal. So they've started stocking an Aran base, which is absolutely gorgeous. I was loading it onto the shelves at the last flock and it just looks stunning. And this is their Fallen Hard colourway, which is one of my favourites anyway. I've knit a sweater in it before. And Claire just asked me if I'd like to knit a sample for the shop out of the Aran weight. So this is another Jodie Brown hat. Her patterns are amazing. And it's called the Pleasure Rib hat. Very typical Jodie, that. And it was a lovely knit. Again, it's, you know, the rib does kind of take its toll after a while, especially with really thick yarn. But it was fine. It took me a couple of days picking it up and putting it down. But I just love this like cable detail. It obviously looks really funny. Again, it really needs blocking because it looks really long and weird, but it stretches out beautifully and it fits me really nicely. I do find, I won't put it on now because it make my hair go crazy, but I do find it's a little bit too long. I've got a bit of a point, but I think with a heavy pom-pom, it would kind of weigh it down a bit anyway. I did try and make a pom-pom with the leftovers, but there wasn't enough to make a nice fat one, so I have to get one to go on there. But if you eventually go to any shows and see Mr. B's yarn there, you'll hopefully see this hat. Right then, and then I have some socks. Some of these are ones I knit a while ago. So the first one is actually one for my Christmas box of socks. So these will be getting put away for a while. So this yarn is Walking in the Air by Mr. B. I do knit with other yarn, but not very often. And the pattern is the Hello Sunshine socks by Tracy Miller of the Grocery Girls. I do love their patterns. And I love this sock pattern. I'm actually wearing another pair today that I did since I knit these. So it's just a lovely pattern. It's got like a textures section down each side. And then this mock cable kind of pattern, sort of lacy pattern down the front. Now on this one, I did do the suggested rib around the back, but one by one rib all down the back of the leg gets old very quickly. So I didn't do it on the pair I'm wearing today. But there are two, just to prove it, but I just put one on the blocker. And actually I can show you on this one what the pattern looks like down the front. So you can see it's like, it is like a cable effect without having to do any of the cabling, which I don't enjoy very much at all. Too fiddly, slows me down, and those of you who know me know that I like to knit fast. My second pair of socks is a little shorty pair, and these are actually going to be a present for a friend. I won't say who. The yarn is Florence, I think it's called, which is funny because that's where I'm supposed to be going on holiday this summer. And it is by Fab Funky Fibres, who are just amazing. If you want self-striping, go to them. They do the most beautiful colours and they're the loveliest people. So I just did a really simple, like, I don't know what you'd call it really. Well, just like a broken rib really on the colour changes. So every time I got to a colour change, I just do a round of knit one, purl one across the top. So it just breaks it up, gives it a little bit of texture, makes it just like not quite a vanilla sock really. So again, there are definitely two of them. But I just love them. Oh, they smell really nice. I soaked them in some really nice wool wash, so they smell lovely. Okay, so that's that one. I just pop this one on the blocker. So these, it's very rare for me to knit vanilla socks. If I do, they're usually for Paul. But sometimes I do just like to have a vanilla pair on the go just in case, you know, go on a long journey or go to the cinema or whatever. So these are also a present for a friend. These were knit in, it's a stripe by Kelly and Nick of Lay Family Yarns. And this is the Bruised Peach self-striping. Which is so pretty. I love the little speckled stripe and all the soft colours. It's just lovely. And these just knit themselves up very quickly. I always do an afterthought heel on my socks, always, because it's just quicker. I just can't be doing with a heel flap and gusset. And I just love the effect you get then when you do a self-striping with that. I always do, I think it's just called a rounded toe. When I first started sock knitting, Claire sort of helped me to sort my own recipe from, I think it's a Kate Atherley book. I can't remember what it's called. Probably something like How to Knit Socks, I'm not sure. But it's just her rounded toe from that, and that just works well for me. It always fits really nicely and it looks really pretty. So yeah, that's that one. I just did a 2x2 rib on those. Let's prove there too. So that's those. I think that is all my finished objects. Not all of them finished recently anyway. I just thought I'd show you what I had. So moving on then to what I'm working on at the moment. So as I said, I finished my Cozy Memories blanket, and I also recently finished my granny stripe blanket. So I wanted to have something kind of scrappy on the go, you know, to pick up and put down, a nice sort of long-term project that I could keep going for a while. So I've started a new Cozy Memories blanket, and I knew that I wanted it to be a little bit more thought out in the colour combinations, because obviously the other one got a bit loud and leery, and I did really enjoy, you know, working on this blanket here, which was a lot more thought out colour wise. And obviously I wanted it to kind of be something I use, so I wanted it to be pretty if I'm using it. So I decided to use sort of pale pastel colours again, which is what I did in this one, and I was really chuffed with it. And I thought I'd just alternate that with squares of grey, and you will notice I've used different greys, because I just thought, actually I've got loads of odds and ends of pale grey. I don't mind if they're slightly different, and I'd rather just use them up. So some of these are ones I couldn't even tell you what they were. And then some is just like some drops baby merino, because I've always got loads of drops baby merino and grey around, because it's really useful. So I decided this time as well to do it, rather than all the miters going the same direction, that I would do it sort of like across, like radiating out. And that's been really fun so far, because it's kind of been a bit more, I've had to think about it a bit more. So you have to kind of work out which square to do next to kind of follow the pattern. It took me a little while to get my head round, once I've done the initial 4 in the middle, how to do the next round. Going, oh no, I can't do that because that wouldn't work, and you'd be going in the wrong direction. In fact, the first one I put on the second round I had to rip out because it was the wrong direction. So then I eventually worked out that what you have to actually do is make it into a cross. So I did like these two and the bottom 2, and then add the corners in. So once I cracked that, I was like, okay, that makes more sense, and we'll just make it easier. I'm using the tip that Jules, so Sweet Violet, gave on her podcast quite a long time ago, but I remembered she did it, and then I went and found it on her Ravelry page. And that is that the first stitch of every row that you slip, and the last one you knit through the back loop. And it just gives you like a nicer edge to the square, and then makes joining easier. And then it also makes the joining look a bit neater on the back, and feels a bit more like sturdy, like it doesn't stretch quite so easily. And the joins look really nice on the front. So I'm really happy with this so far, and I'm absolutely loving it. I've not touched it for a few days because I kind of thought this was a good stage to be able to show it on camera. So I should be cracking on and adding a few more colours to that. Some of the colours I've used so far, I've mainly used minis that I've kind of collected recently. So I bought, Claire and John did a set of macaron like pastel coloured minis. So I think this one and this one and this one were from that. I also bought their, is it Forever, Always Winter mini set, and that one is from that. I love that, those speckles. This one was one of the ones I bought from La Anime when I was in Paris recently. This one down here is from my lovely friend Tracy at Somerset Yarns. This is her Funfetti colourway. And this one I bought last week from Pixie Yarns, from lovely Sophie. She did a mini set for the Operation Social Justice campaign called Amp Up the Love, and I just couldn't resist. So I think that one and the yellow one are from that. And a few more colours I'm planning to put in soon are 3 more from the Pixie Yarn set. Look at those, they're so pretty. And I've got this one that I picked up at La Anime, which is, I think, Neon Static. So just lots of like soft, pretty colours with the greys in between. And I'm actually not finding doing the greys too boring at the moment, which is really nice, because I thought I might, but it's good because, you know, each grey one you get done is closer to doing another exciting colourful one. Right then, next. This is quite a long-term whip. I keep picking it up and having a little burst on it and then getting bored of it again. So this is my Dust of Snow wrap. I wasn't going to do this, and then I went out before Christmas with Hannah, my good friend Hannah from Tales of Yarnia, and she was wearing hers and it was all rainbowy and gorgeous, and I was like, I need one. So Claire made me an advent calendar for Christmas, so this is made using that. Sorry, it's really crinkled up. It's been in the bag for ages. I made a few mistakes at the beginning and sort of kept running out of yarn. My minis were smaller than I needed. So I did some sort of rethinking and changed a few yarns, so it seems to be back on more of an even keel now. But I do love it, but obviously it's going to be huge and it's going to be really warm, so it won't be something I wear until next winter, so I'm just going to take my time with it. But the pattern is Dust of Snow by Helen Stewart, Curious Handmade, and the yarns are a great big mixture, so I won't even tell you, but I've just tried to make it like a spectrum of colour all the way down, and hopefully it will be really beautiful when it's finished. I'm actually liking it much more looking at it on camera than I was liking it, so that's really nice. And to be honest, like purples aren't really my favourite colour, so once I get more into sort of pinks and blues and things, that's much more me. So I will get that finished. I think I'm about 30% of the way through. The beauty of Helen's pattern, she always puts percentages on there, so you know exactly where you are with it and how much you've got left. I'll have a good drink a minute. Okay, so next, like I said, I always like to have a pair of vanilla socks on the go. So I've been working on these for a few weeks, just trying to think now, since we went to Paris actually, so about 6 weeks. And these are going to be a pair of trainer socks for Paul. I think I showed them on the Paris vlog actually. So actually I finished the toe last night and just need to Kitchener that. This yarn is, I can hear him coming downstairs. Paul, I'm podcasting. Sorry, you can come in if you want to. Just be quiet. So the yarn is the Dark Side from Mr. B, his Star Wars collection. Look at the colours in that. It's so amazing. This is showing up really well actually. So I just need to Kitchener the toe and put a heel in there, and then get started on a second one. So that's that one. And that's living in my little grey girl cocktail bag, which is just so cute. This is really handy for travelling because it will like wedge down in the front pocket of a suitcase really nicely. So really great bag. Sorry, just trying to stuff it all back in. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going a bit fast or what, but just getting used to this malarkey. So in my Stitchers Tees Yarnivore bag, which I absolutely love. This bag's great. It's huge. You can get loads in here. Are some other socks that I'm working on. It's actually sort of a half finished object because I'm on the second one. The yarns I'm using are this one. Do love a self-striping gobstopper ball. And this is by the Yarn Badger. I bought this at the Nottingham Yarn Expo in November. And that's in the Lagoon colourway. I just love all the colours in this. So pretty. So pretty. And I'm also using just a plain undyed yarn, and you'll see why. So, I'm doing it's basically a mosaic colourwork pattern, so just slip stitches, but with the self-striping and the undyed, it just makes this really cool effect. I do think, like, close up, they sort of look like little hearts, if you can see. They're just really cute, and it gives this lovely, really squishy texture. I've had to make myself go a bit looser on the second one because I do feel like this one is quite tight, and I am known for being a really tight knitter. But I've just, again, gone down. I did one colour repeat in the leg. Then obviously I've stopped doing the texture under the foot. And so it's just striped under the foot. Which does make it look all weird. It's like a banana, it's all curly. But hopefully when I put the heel in and block it, it should be absolutely fine. So I'm on the second one now. I've nearly finished the leg of the second one. And it is a really nice sort of rhythmic, relaxing kind of project. It's just round and round the same kind of pattern, but I do love it. I think this one is definitely feeling a bit looser, so that's good. But yeah, just loving these. It's really, really nice. And it's just kind of, I just kind of made the pattern up as I went along. I did kind of see a picture of something similar, but I thought I didn't need a pattern because I never use the heels and toes from patterns anyway. And I could work out what to do on the leg. So I think my final work in progress, I never have loads on the go to be honest, is another Whitmore sweater. Let me just find the pattern picture if I can. It's a huge pattern, there's so many pages to it. There it is. Amy's is just so beautiful. So beautiful. Sorry, I'll just put this away properly so I don't lose my place when I come back to it. So I'm about a third into the first chart, so I'm not very far onto this. But this is my second Whitmore sweater. I decided not to hold this one with mohair and just do it in DK. So you can see the pattern starting to emerge, and you can see the 50 million, oops, oh, what was that? Oh, no, it's okay. The 50 million stitch markers that really help to make sure you don't make mistakes. The yarn is actually, it was kind of a custom colour that I asked John to dye up for me, but he is actually going to make it part of their repeatable colourways collection now. So this is Pebble. So this is probably an exclusive first view of Pebble. So they've got a really nice selection of greys already, and this is now the palest. So it's just lovely, just really soft. I just thought it would go with everything. You know, I wear a lot of grey, you know, it'd look really nice with jeans, and it'd go with all of my shawls. So perfect, really. So I will pick that back up and crack on with that at some point. My mojo was quite low, and I just really wanted to knit socks this last week or so. So that's fine, but I'm going to have quite a lot of knitting time over the next few weeks and months, I'm sure. So it'd be nice to have that to work on. But I would quite like to finish it before the weather gets too warm and I can't wear it. Although I do I really enjoy saving up finished objects through the summer, and then come sort of, oh dear, I just found my beginning of rain marker on my lap. That's not good. I'll just sort that out in a minute. I do like having like a little stash of new things when it comes to sort of September, October time that I can wear when the weather turns. It kind of makes me feel a bit better about the summer being over. So like when I go back to work and stuff, I've got a couple of new pairs of socks which just, you know, bring a little smile when you get dressed in the morning. So a lot of this will now be saved for those times, really. Excuse me. Right then, so just a few sort of acquisition type things and a bit of future knitting. When I was making my sweaters, I did swatch. I was a good girl, I did swatch, but I rarely ever get gauged straight away because I'm just a really tight knitter. I almost always go up at least one needle size automatically before I even start. But I always find it really hard to measure my gauge, so I thought actually I need a proper gauge ruler rather than trying to hold a tape measure on an uneven thing. So through Wool Warehouse I purchased this Yarnistry gauge ruler, and I think it's just gonna be really handy. It's really cool. It's got like a needle gauge and somewhere to measure your swatch, which is really cool. So that came a couple of weeks ago. I bought this quite a long time ago, but I know Sophie has got this in her shop again at the moment, or pre-orders possibly, I'm not sure. So again, Sophie, lovely Sophie from Pixie Yarns, did another charity colourway, and I forget what charity it was for, but it's called Healing Hugs, and it's just so, the colours just spoke to me straight away, so I just had to have it. And it was great because she was selling these 50-gram skeins, which is plenty for me for a pair really of not particularly short socks. I'm a size 5, a UK 5, so if I use different for heels and toes, I can quite easily get sort of maybe a 4-inch leg pair of socks. But I probably will make trainer socks because that is actually what I need more of at the moment. But I just thought it was so pretty, so I had to have it. Now, where should I buy this from? Oh, a couple of weeks ago, I was looking to order. I always keep my keys on a lanyard because my handbag is a bottomless pit of doom, and it broke. So I was looking for like some kind of lanyard or something to keep my keys on, and I came across on I think it's Gibby Rousseau's, I want to say. They had these lovely sort of big felted loops, like key rings. So I ordered one of those, and while I was looking on their website, I noticed they had these really cute little tins, just full of multicoloured bulb markers, which I use all the time and don't always have enough of. Sorry, it's easier if I take them out. So you see they're all really lovely, pretty colours. Oh, I'm dropping them everywhere. It's going well. And they also included this really cute little heart progress keeper, which I thought was lovely, just a wooden heart. So that was really nice. I was really, really impressed with what I found there. Oh, there it is. I hope I didn't knock the camera then. Such a professional. Okay, and then yesterday Claire and John did an update, and I don't ever shop from their updates because obviously I see them all the time, so I just, you know, collect it from their house or just ask them to save a skein or whatever. But I thought obviously at the moment I can't go and visit, so when I saw their update go up last night and they had a colourway I really wanted, I did actually order from their shop. But as it happened, we had to pop up there to get something else essential, I'll just add. So they left it on the driveway for me with the other things I was collecting. So bless her, she sent me this bag. She put a couple of chockies in there for me and Paul and a couple of other little bits. So I snagged myself a skein of the very, very popular Clara Peggotty. So this colourway is named after a very good friend of mine and Claire's, and I'm sure she's a very good friend of quite a few of you as well. Lovely, lovely Nikki. If you're not watching her Lent vlogs, go and have a look because they're just lovely. And Nikki and her daughter Hannah are popping these little musical interludes at the end, with Nikki playing the piano and Hannah singing, and it's just bringing a smile to my face at the moment. They're just lovely, and I have found myself singing along at some points. Hannah, you've got an amazing voice, I must say. So yeah, Clara Peggotty it's inspired by Nikki. She loves a bit of purple, but look at these gorgeous bright speckles. And I just thought it was calming and beautiful and lovely, and I thought it would make a lovely, lovely pair of socks or something. So I thought I would support their update and grab a skein of that. And Claire also really kindly tucked in the leftovers from one of her more recent projects, which was actually a yarn they dyed for the Flower Power Fund. And they... Oh no, hang on. No, they didn't dye this yarn. Okay, let me start again. So they were part of the Flower Power Fund, but Claire was actually doing the bag for March, I think. And she worked alongside Hayley of Ducky Darlings, I think. And Hayley dyed this colour, which is called, I think it's called Viva Viola. So the light's not brilliant there. So really pretty colour, sort of a really golden colour over like little lilac and green pops. Really lovely. And then I don't know if this mini was with it or whether this is just something that Claire was using for her heels and toes. I haven't absolutely no idea, but she's included this little green nugget. I always think little balls of green yarn like this look like sprites. So there's probably enough there for me to make like a little shorty pair of socks or something. That was very lovely of her to share her scraps with me. So yeah, that was my little thing there. And then future knitting. So I've had these skeins in my stash for a while. This one is Raspberry Special by Mr. Bees. I think I had this as my wages for flock at one of the flock sessions last year. I can't remember which. And then these two are both Lay Family yarn. And I don't remember which way around, but one of them my friend Kate gave me for my birthday. and the other I got in the Flock Secret Santa. And one is called Mrs. Claus's Raspberry Prosecco, which is on Stellina. And this one is called Mrs. Claus's Cheeky Prosecco. So they're like similar, but just one's ever so slightly deeper than the other. And when I picked these up, I thought they kind of made a really nice fade. So I've just been sort of sitting them to one side for a while, just to sort of wonder what to do with them. And I'm thinking it might make a really cool faded sweater. So I'm not really sure what to do, whether to do like just a really simple raglan sweater, use something like the flax light pattern, or whether something more exciting comes along. I know that Andrea Murray has got a faded sweater at the moment with like little bobbles all over. I can't decide whether I want to do that one or not. So I'm just going to hang on to them for a bit and decide what to do with them. But I just thought they were a nice little combination and would be nice, you know, in a future project together rather than just 3 single skeins. It's always nice to have the option to make something bigger, isn't it? So I think for now that is it. Hopefully over the next few weeks I'll be able to film a few more videos like this. I am planning to sort of put some little vlogs out there if I can sort of get enough footage of just what I'm doing, you know, whilst we've got more time at home. I am actually still working. We're looking after the children of the key workers. So we've not had many kids in school. There was sort of anywhere between about 5 and 13. And it fluctuates because obviously their parents are shift workers. And it's very, very strange. It's very intense and a little bit sad and quiet. But we're just, you know, trying to make it nice for the children and making the most of the lovely weather. But obviously we need to keep skeleton staff because we need to keep ourselves safe too. So we're working kind of a rota and then, you know, doing bits of work from home in between. So I will be at home more and hopefully I'll be trying to fill my days around the work I've got to do, and I'll be able to share that with you and hopefully give people just, you know, a little something to watch if they need it. And yeah, that's it really. So I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe and staying home if you can. And yeah, if you like this video, hit the like and press subscribe. I think that's what you're supposed to say. Keep washing your hands and I will see you soon. Bye.